Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students, in this session we would talk about the impact of science during the 19th and the 20th century. I hope and expect by the end of this session you would be able to relate science and the developments in science with the vocabulary and overall language during the 19th and 20th century. Well, my dear students, the most striking thing about our present times civilization is probably the part that science has played. Science has literally changed our world. If a man from the past, say dead a century ago, is brought back to this world, maybe he would die of seeing the changes that have taken place in this world. Think of the progress that has taken place in so many different domains of life. Think of the revolutionary changes in medicine. And, the sciences auxiliary to it, related to medicine, such as bacteriology or biochemistry, etc. Now realize the differences that mark off our own day. Think of our everyday life, how much it is connected with science. Reflect upon the relatively short period that separates Wright brothers' marking history's first powered controlled airplane flight and try to measure, the differences in comparison with the shorter time period where, technology has improved so much that now we talk of satellite, we talk of, the shuttles going to moon and to other planets. We talk of astronauts walking on the moon. In every field of science, pure and applied, there has been need in the last 2 centuries for thousands of new terms and new words. And I think that is very, very logical. The speed of change, the speed of invention, the speed of discovery, the speed of finding out the new, the speed of, knowledge pouring in, the speed of information coming in is so high that to compete with it and to keep a record of it, of course, we need hundreds and thousands of words to be added to English language. And this is what has happened through the last 2 centuries. Only if we look at medicine, we speak of anemia, and you can see loads of works here on the screen that we use in our everyday lives. These are all the words, bronchitis, diphtheria, and many, many other diseases, and the names of all those diseases, that have been added to the vocabulary during this period. We use with some sense of their meaning. Of course, we are not specialists in that. We don't have specialized knowledge, but we know what is bacteriology, and we can make a guess what is immunology, or what is orthodontics, or what does this word AIDS mean. We may not know it is acquired immune deficiency syndrome, but we know, we are familiar with the acronym AIDS. Also, we have in our daily lives medicines like aspirin, disprin, iodine, insulin, morphine, etc. So, science has brought us so many more, as you can look at the screen, so many more terms and a lot of vocabulary in order to fulfill the needs, the gap that was there. My dear students, now the people of the times, in their everyday speech, they talk about these diseases and these glands and, these scientific terms like adenoids or endocrine glands or hormones, etc. And all the time we talk about CT scan that is computerized axial tomography. So, the acronyms that are introduced, the abbreviations that are introduced, terminology, compounds, single words, there are so many different varieties of vocabulary that are introduced in the domain of medicine. we have cholesterol, we have polyunsaturated fats, and we, during these centuries have been talking about that and being more and more aware about these. In almost every other field, we would find these kind of examples. So, for example, when you think of the domain of electricity, we have words like dynamo, alternating current, etc. When we come to physics, we have terms like calorie. We are all the time calorie conscious. There are electrons, the process of ionization, ultraviolet rays, quantum, mechanics, and relativity, etc. We are so very much familiar with these words that we do not even think that they are new. They are added to English language just very recently. When it comes to nuclear weapons and all that, we have additions of, words and compound words. Radioactive, hydrogen bomb, chain reaction, fallout, meltdown. These terms have their own meanings. They are coined to suit the purposes, the needs. In recent years, actually, we also talk about, black holes, and we talk about Big Bang models. So, science has surrounded us in all the ways. In psychology, the terms like schizophrenia, extrovert, introvert, behaviorism, and many, many more words, we are so very familiar with them that we use them in our everyday discussions, in our everyday conversations. Not only single words, compounds have been created to fill the gap that occurred due to the new inventions in these 2 centuries. Look at the words: spacecraft, space shuttle, launch pad, countdown, etc. What has happened? These words existed separately. But when a new item was introduced in the real life, 2 words were brought together to make a compound to name that particular item. Anyways, consciously or unconsciously, we have become scientifically minded. In the last couple of centuries, our couple of generations have a totally different mind setup, and our vocabularies clearly reflect that.